Conventionally, banana propagation is by suckers or rhizomes. But in recent years, the tissue culture plants are becoming popular. Suckers selected from pest and disease-free plantations also give good yield. TC plants have no special capacity to give extraordinary yield. Select this type of sword suckers for planting. This originates from the bottom of the rhizome of the mother plant. This grows healthy and fruiting is fast. This type of water sucker is not suitable. It grows slow and flowers late. Traditional farmers plant the suckers as it is, like this, which is not correct. Instead, cut off the stem and plant only the rhizome part. This gives out strong and healthy sprout. It is difficult to get healthy suckers of required variety in large numbers. If the sucker is separated from the cropping plant itself, it affects the yield. Also, the pest and disease may enter from the wound. So, take out the suckers only after the harvest of the crop. Panama wilt and bunchy top diseases, rhizome weevil, nematodes spread with the affected sucker. Hence, select the sucker if and only if the plantation is free from all these problems. It is very difficult and costly to get rid of these pests and diseases if once they enter the garden. Because of all of these problems, now the tissue culture plants are popular. Most of the TC laboratories multiply only Cavendish varieties. Because of the problem of variation in the characters, TC multiplication in Yalaki and many other varieties are not yet successful commercially. The rhizome costs around 3 to 5 rupees. This ready-to-plant TC plant costs 12 to 15 rupees. Tissue of a model plant of the required variety from a healthy plantation is collected for tissue culture multiplication. It is cultured in a high-tech laboratory to produce plants. This is a very sensitive and costly process. Generally, the TC plants are free from diseases. But if infected tissue is selected by mistake, the whole stock of plant goes to waste. Sometimes the variation in the TC plants affects the crop growth and the yield. Hence, purchase the TC plants from well-known and responsible laboratories or hardening nurseries. Generally, the TC plants are uniform in growth and the harvest completes in a short span. This is helpful for transportation and marketing. The bunches and fruits also show uniformity. If rhizomes of the same size are planted, they also give uniform crop but not equal to the TC plants. TC plants can give 5 healthy ratoon crops, while the sucker plantation can continue for 2 ratoon crop. However, the management is the same. These are the miniature plants from the TC labs. They are being raised in net pots carefully. These polytunnels provide high temperature and humidity. After 25 to 30 days, they are transferred to the poly bags filled with soil, sand and manure. Fertilizers, fungicides, insecticides and growth regulators are sprayed from time to time. This stage is called hardening. It needs this kind of a closed shade house. These plants are 3 months old and are ready for planting. Healthy and sturdy plants are selected from the lots and sold to the farmers for 10 to 15 rupees. It can be transported to any distance. Plow the land in both directions. Leave it in the open sun for 2 months, which kills the pests and disease-causing organisms. Growing sun hemp and mixing with soil is also recommended. Put at least 10 tons of farmyard manure at the time of plowing. Even in pits, mix the manure with the soil. Not put directly to the plant base, which otherwise may cause fungal infection. Supply of organic manure is compulsory for the healthy growth of banana plants. It is better to dig a trench of 1.5 feet in depth with an MB plow in bigger plots than digging individual pits. In case of manual digging, let the pit size be 1.5 cubic feet. Mix 5 ml of chlorpyrifos, 3 grams of COC, 50 grams of DAP in 1 liter of water. Drench 200 ml of this solution to each pit. Put 10 grams of 4-8 granules also. These are necessary for the control of soil-borne pests and diseases. The common spacing for banana is 6 into 6 feet or 7 into 5 feet. This accommodates around 1,200 plants per acre. In high-density planting, 4 into 4 feet or 5 into 5 feet spacing is followed. Recently, the double row planting has been becoming popular. The wider space here is helpful for better light and air penetration, intercultivation, fertilizer application, irrigation, etc. The farmer's experience says that the double row spacing of 4 into 4 feet in pair rows and 8 feet between two pair rows is good. It accommodates around 1,675 plants per acre. Few intensive farmers even follow the closest spacing of 7 into 4 into 3.5, 7 into 4 into 4 or 8 into 4 into 3 feet for GNAIN. They plant around 2,500 plants and get the highest yield of 60 tons per acre. Triangular alignment of plants in rows is better. In these kinds of high-density plantations, the nutrient management schedule should be followed strictly. Select the rhizomes for planting from a healthy plantation of first crop. This gives vigorous and healthy sprouts. It is better if it is of TC plants, which will have less pest and disease infestation. Grade the rhizome as big, medium and small based on the size. Plant them in separate rows and sections. Small rhizomes are also suitable for planting, but it must have at least 1.5 kilograms weight. If you plant all sizes in a mixture, weak sprouts from small rhizomes will suffer and fail to grow in the shade. Remove all old roots with a thin layer of skin like this. Old roots carry the infection of diseases and nematodes. Mix 4 kilograms of DAP, 600 grams of Mancozeb, 500 ml of chlorpyrifos into 200 liters of cow dung slurry. Dip and take out the rhizomes in the mixture. Smear 10 grams of 4-8 granules on each rhizome. All these chemicals together will prevent rhizome weevil, stem borer, thrips, nematodes, termites and Panama wilt disease. Dry these rhizomes under the shade for 1 day and then plant. Plant this rhizome in an inverted position like this when the climate is hot. This helps to get out stout and vigorous sprouts. Retain the sprouts of uniform size in all pits and remove the remaining ones. In the cold season, do not go for inverted planting, which may result in poor sprouting. In the case of tissue culture plants, planting is very easy. Simply cut off the poly bag and plant. We can take up banana planting in all the seasons. This fruit has good demand throughout the year. But avoid the full crop in May, June. Otherwise, the strong monsoon wind may destroy the heavy plants. It is better to have live windbreakers like Susbania, Gliricidia, etc. around the plantation. This minimizes the uprooting of plants and tearing out of the leaves. Banana, being a succulent plant, needs assured irrigation. Hence, avoid fully grown crop in April-May months in water-scarce areas. The demand and the price of banana remain almost the same in all the seasons with minor variations.